The boogeyman, ooh, the boogeyman, the boogeyman, the boogeyman, the boogeyman, the boogeyman.
Welcome to the Goombastompshow podcast. This week I got Leeper.
What's up?
And I'm Stephan. This is going to be us two this week, and we're just going to kind of talk about a couple games here, share a little Halo 4 news. So, Leeper, start it off, and why don't you review the two games that you want to review? Pokemon Black and White and Dishonored. So go ahead and start off with Pokemon Black and White 2.
All right, so with Pokemon, played through the game. I thoroughly enjoyed it because, of course, it's Pokemon. I mean, who doesn't like Pokemon? Got to catch them all, right?
Of course.
So the things that I liked about is it still continues a great story. It takes place about 2 years after the first Black and White took place. You continue on. Team Plasma makes a return for the second time, and I really enjoyed the story and playing through it. It also introduces a lot of great new features for the game. You have a feature called the Avenue, which basically what you do is it's a walkway through, and you can talk to different people and put different shops in this avenue, and like you can suggest it to different people throughout the world, and if they like the shop, your shop gets points, and then you can trade the points in for different items and things like that. They also introduced the World Tournament, where you can play against people from all over the Pokemon world in past games. You have a tournament against like the gym leaders, such as the original ones from Pokemon Red and Blue, like Misty and Brock, all the way up to the newer ones, such as Sharon and so on and so forth. So that was a pretty cool feature, and works the same way as the Battle Subway or the Battle Tower does.
Yeah.
Where you can get points, the battle points, and trade them in for different items and things of that nature. I also like the way that they introduced some of the legendary Pokemon. Now there's two different forms of one of them, and obviously depending on which game you got, either Black 2 or White 2, depends on which form you get of this third legendary Pokemon, which is kind of interesting. I guess the really only bad part that I really disliked about Pokemon Black 2 was, although they introduced a lot of new features that differentiate it from the first Pokemon Black, it's still the same old Pokemon. It doesn't change a whole lot. Battle system's still the same. Pokemon still look the same. But in the same breath, that's also what makes Pokemon so successful. So if it's not broke, why fix it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's been doing the same type of formula forever, so I mean, obviously it still is a huge seller. I mean, there's still some of the most, highest selling games on the DS and 3DS, etc. That's why most people get those handhelds is for Pokemon, so it's not surprising that it's still very, very popular. So yeah, I don't see them changing up their formula too much. I mean, obviously they're going to make some changes, like you said, and some additions and kind of add some new cool stuff, but they're not really going to, try and reinvent the wheel with it. So, it is what it is.
There's a great feature that they also introduced. They had what they called Pokemon Dream Radar, which was a app, if you will, that you can get for the 3DS. And what it does basically is it's a whole nother mini game that you can play on your 3DS and use the camera. And what you have to do is you have to get these dream orbs, and eventually after you collect so many of them, and certain ones, there's like Pokemon in them, and you can actually transfer through what they call Unova Link, those Pokemon that you got in the Dream Radar, into your game. And some of the Pokemon are actually pretty cool. They're legendary ones. The Thundurus and Landorus and Tornadus, I believe are their names. And you can introduce those into your game. So it's a nice way to get 3 legendary Pokemon and not really have to do too much.
Yeah, and that sounds pretty cool. I love stuff like that. But they've always kind of done like little cool things like that.
Yeah, like the Surf Pikachu. Oh man, that was so tight.
Yeah.
It's so hard to get them.
Yeah. All right. Well, what are some of the better things about it that it does better? I mean, tell me about it. I haven't played it. I've only played, I stopped playing with Soul Silver. I played a little bit of White. Um, I think I got past the first gym leader, but beyond that, I never really got into it that much. So tell me what the second one does so differently from the previous few.
Basically making it better. I mean, they really expand on the story from the first one. Also with that Unova link, which is kind of nice if you own the first one. Playing throughout the second game, you'll have what they call memories, which are tied into it, so they kind of connect the story a little bit better.
Yeah.
So that's a nice feature. I really think that the way they did the World Tournament's a lot better than what they've done previously. Like, I'm not a big fan of like the battle subways or the battle towers, but the Pokemon World Tournament seems pretty cool. They also updated the a couple of the gyms, which I think the ways that they did a couple of the gyms is a little bit better and more fun and a little bit easier to play, if you will.
Yeah.
I know when I played like the original Pokemon, I always hated that gym with the psychic where you had to figure out which teleporter to go on.
Yeah.
That was just a pain.
Yeah. That one did suck.
So things like that, like in the original White, and like the I believe it's the very last gym leader, you have to connect these dragons and you have to find like which way to go and all this stuff and go up and down and backtrack. Well, in this one, the gym, you either pick right or left, and if you pick right, you battle certain people who are based more on offense. If you pick left, they're based more on defense, and then you move up to the next level, and then you can either have a triple battle or what they call a rotation battle, which is something that you might not have experienced yet if you haven't played that much of Pokemon White.
Yeah.
In a rotation battle, you have 3 Pokemon, and you actually rotate them.
Yeah, it sounds kind of familiar, but I don't remember if I did that or not. But yeah, all right. Well, then, what are some of the like things that it does poorly, or I guess things that you would improve about it?
Really, probably my number one improvement, I guess I would say, is like whenever I got the game, I was under the impression that it was like either that something was different about it or that you would do something different. But it kind of feels like almost you're playing like Pokemon Black 1.33 or something like that. You pick the same starter Pokemon, you go on and so forth, which understood why they do Pokemon Black 2, which means that it's a sequel. But that's really my only complaint, is that I thought maybe that there would just be something a little more different, or I don't know,
You thought
something
it was like pretty much a sequel, as in like, how Silver was to Red and Blue and stuff like that.
right, like a whole other game, basically.
Yeah, and really it's just a continuation of that kind of environment and story in that
Right.
regard. Yeah, that makes sense, because yeah, they never did a sequel to any of the other past games, or like a direct sequel, I guess, and called it, Silver 2 or Red 2 or anything like that. So yeah, it is kind of interesting that they would start that out with this one.
Had to give them time to draw more Pokemon, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, for the 5 millionth Pokemon. But all right, well then, share your final thoughts on it. Give your rating and just your overall feelings about it.
Final thoughts on it. I still think overall it was a great experience. Definitely worth the $30 or $40 that it is, and I'd probably, my final rating would be about an 8 out of 10,
Okay.
which I believe is pretty close to kind of everyone else thinks. I know the original actually, for the most part, got perfect 10 out of 10 from everybody. And so this one's pretty close, just not quite as innovative, if you will, as its predecessor.
So if people haven't gotten White or the second White or Black or whatever, would you tell them to get the first ones or the second ones?
Um, I would probably think that I would recommend that they get the second one because I don't feel that they'll necessarily miss out on too much if they haven't played the first.
All right, cool. So an 8 out of 10. Let's move on to Dishonored then. Kind of do the same thing with that. Share your opinions on it.
Well, my feelings and opinion on Dishonored is that it is amazing.
Yeah, I've heard great things about it. It's gotten great reviews pretty much across the board.
I have not enjoyed playing a game so much since I got Skyrim. This game is, which is funny that I say that because it is made by, or I guess published, if you will, by Bethesda, which also does the Elder Scrolls, and Skyrim was their last Elder Scrolls game. Because it's a first person, you have a weapon or something in one hand, and then you can have another weapon or like a power in your left hand. Again, similar to Skyrim. I really think that the story is excellent. You start out and your kind of tutorial type deal is as you learn how to sneak and you play hide and seek with the princess's daughter, and then you go up to talk to the actual princess, and these guys show up and they're basically like assassins and they kill the princess. Well, then they leave you there and you get framed for it. And then that starts the whole ball rolling on the story and your first actual real mission and kind of getting a real feel for the gameplay is trying to sneak out of prison.
Don't all don't all of Bethesda's games start off with you like sneaking out of prison?
Well, I don't think all of them. I know in Oblivion you did, and then at Skyrim you were going to get your head chopped off and then a dragon attacked.
Yeah, so, it always just seems like you start off as a prisoner, though.
You are a prisoner, yes.
They seem to like, that's just like their thing. Story.
It's a good plot.
Yeah.
What I also feel about Dishonored, which I believe it'll have some great potential for some DLC. If they take their time on it and release that, I think that'll be excellent. If they, one, decide to do it, and two, whenever they get around to it, I think it'll be great. I really like how the gameplay is with the sneaking around and how in each level is kind of you do a mission and it's a whole level, but it's kind of a whole area. So it's not 100% like a open world like a Skyrim or Oblivion, but it's pretty close. And there's so many different ways you can go about completing your mission, and there are also side quests that you can do. And what you do in that may affect the outcome of your mission, or actually affect the outcome of the whole game.
Yeah.
So I certainly think that that's pretty interesting. I mean, you could get different power-ups and you could go through the whole level and just kill everyone you see and just dominate them and go roll on. Or you can climb up, use a power that they call Blink, and actually climb up to rooftops and sneak around, and you could never be seen by anybody and complete your whole mission, which I think that's pretty cool, and I've been trying to do that. And I guess some people have complained that the game is short, but I really only feel that the game's actually really short if you try to beat the game just by going balls to the wall and just cutting everybody and just dominating everything.
Yeah.
But if you actually play the game like your character is, and he's an assassin and sneak around and do stuff, I think it'd actually take you a long time to complete.
Cool. All right. Well, then, just anything you can think of that is bad about it, or that could be done better, or anything?
The only thing that I really feel that's bad about it, which it may just be the 360 version. It could just be my 360. Who knows? Is that it seems like it glitches sometimes. Like I'll be jumping around or whatever, and I'll get like caught up in something.
Yeah.
So I feel that that's kind of a problem. Other than that, I really enjoyed the game. I think that the story's great. I really feel that the gameplay is done well, and how you kind of have the ability and the option to kind of play how you want to is really cool. And I think it's a great new IP that it kind of hasn't really been done before, done in a really long time anyway.
All right. Well, then what would you rate it?
I definitely give Dishonored a 10 out of 10. I enjoyed it that much.
Cool. So you'd recommend that? Like, is it up to Skyrim levels, or what are we talking here?
I would highly recommend Dishonored. I wouldn't say that it's Skyrim level just because of the fact that in Skyrim there's so much you can do. This doesn't quite have that openness to it, but it's still an excellent game and a great time killer and an adventure if someone's willing to pay the money for it.
Cool. Sounds pretty awesome. I really like the commercials and gameplay that I've seen of it. So yeah, I want to check it out eventually, but I don't know about right now. But because there's so much games coming, I don't feel like I'm going to give it enough time to do it justice. But it's definitely something that once it goes down in price and I've played these other games coming out here in the next couple of weeks, I'll definitely give it a shot. Faux show.
Getting that for show.
All right, well, what games are you looking forward to that are coming out in a month from now? Or not in a month from now, but in the next month, basically. The game month for most people.
Next Tuesday, Assassin's Creed 3. I think that should be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've never been. I didn't when Assassin's Creed first came out. I didn't really get into it that much, but I've been playing I've played the first and the second one on my computer, and I actually really enjoy it. I think it's pretty cool. So the third one should be really good.
Yeah, I enjoy Assassin's Creed. I never really got into the story a whole lot, but I really love the gameplay of it. It's tons of fun. I really like the multiplayer as well. It's just a nice concept, and it's a lot of fun. I thought the first one grew kind of tedious. It seemed like you did the same 5 type of missions over and over and over. Like It didn't have very much variety. But the gameplay itself is a lot of fun, and running around the city and all that. And then
the second one was a vast improvement over the first.
Yeah, I got Brotherhood, and that one was a lot of fun. So yeah, a lot of people have a lot of good things to say about the second one and Brotherhood and stuff like that. So yeah, we also got Halo coming out. Speaking of Halo, they actually just announced, I believe yesterday, the 3 DLC map packs, just when they'll be coming out over the next 5-6 months. They just kind of announced them ahead of time and showed some concept art. Obviously, they don't have them done. That'd be ridiculous. But they showed some concept art of what kind of the direction they're going. So that's kind
do they have them
done? I would be extremely disappointed if they had all this DLC done already and then just completely screwing over everybody. But anyways, they're going to have 3 separate packs. So it's pretty much Halo tradition to have 3 separate packs, at least from Halo 3 is... I know Halo 2 at least had 3. It probably had more. It maybe had 4, but Halo 3 had 3. Reach had 3, not counting the anniversary, or actually 3, yeah, and counting the anniversary thing. So yeah. Anyways, the 3 that they've announced, starting with the Crimson map pack, which is coming out in December. So that's pretty soon. Usually they kind of have like a year-long program for their DLC. They usually, over the course of a year or year and a half, they come out with 3 different packs. Now they're going to have it in like the course of 5 months. It's kind of crazy, but, however they want to go about it.
Right.
As long as they're decent and worth the money, then I'll be happy. But yeah, the Crimson map pack comes out in December. It has the maps Wreckage, Harvest, and Shatter. And the little description they gave is... Witness the chaos of a clash of civilizations in wreckage, with its blend of claustrophobic spaces and dangerous exposures, and venture into the human colony environs of Harvest, and explore a human foray on an alien moon in Shatter. Out of the 3, Shatter looks the coolest to me. It kind of has a a bunch of like not ice, but like big glass crystals. It looks like kind of an interesting concept because I don't think they've done any map like that before. So definitely excited for that one. Out of the three, I think that one looks the best. Going off concept art, I mean, obviously the final product could be completely different, but if the final product looks like the concept art does, then that one looks pretty neat. The second map pack is due out in February, and that contains the maps Landfall, Monolith, and Skyline. And the little description they give is Landfall's emphasis is on infantry battles against a glittering ocean on a distant world, while Monolith exposes you to the naked vacuum of space and the firepower of opposing teams, and Skyline's distinctly industrial feel provides new challenges in somewhat familiar but landfall confined spaces. So out of those three, Monolith and Skyline definitely look pretty cool. And Landfall doesn't look bad either, but Monolith looks really neat just for the fact that it's got like, I don't know, it's in space and it definitely looks beautiful, but the concept art looks like it's taken from Reach, so I'm guessing they just took like some image from Reach and just put like some little drawings on it to make it give an idea of what they're going for. Right. Landfall is definitely looks beautiful as well. It takes place, like I said, right on the like an ocean front and little UNSC structure, and I don't know, it looks really interesting. And lastly, like I said, Skyline looks pretty cool too. Kind of hard to describe that one. It's just up in the sky with all these buildings and stuff, so it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Usually like the city type maps have been pretty good. Turf and Headlong come to mind from Halo 2, and those were both pretty awesome maps. So if it's anything like those, then yeah, they should be good. And lastly, the Castle map pack, which is due out in April. It has Daybreak, Outcast, and Perdition. Daybreak is set in a military facility against the backdrop of an idyllic mountain range, while Outcast plunges you into the warrens, canyons, and arches of an alien place, and Perdition takes players into the heart of an urban sprawl, and tactical speed and situational awareness is its key are its key features. These ones look pretty cool. I don't know, it's hard to get a grasp based off of the concept art and the descriptions they've given, but I would have to say Perdition looks pretty interesting. Outcast and Daybreak, I'm not so sure about, but we'll see. I don't know. One thing I will say, now that I've kind of given their descriptions of it and my basic opinions, I will say I'm disappointed if they don't have a volcanic setting to one of their maps, because Spartan Ops has a volcanic setting, and Spartan Ops is like the co-op missions. I know you haven't really been following too much about Halo or anything, but Spartan Ops they're coming out with a mission a day for like 5 weeks or 10 weeks or something like that. So yeah. I forget how long it was, but yeah, it's free DLC. So it's pretty cool. They're just like little short 10-minute co-op missions you can do with people.
That's tight.
Yeah, and it has some volcanic environments in it, and I thought that would make a really good multiplayer map since they've yet to make one with a volcanic setting. So if these are all the maps they have to offer, it doesn't look like any of them are set in a volcanic setting, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully there's one in there, because I think that would be a really cool looking setting to have. And if you already have, the setting made, you already have the environment and the visuals made, why not, use those?
Right.
But yeah, overall the maps look pretty cool. Like I said, I'm excited for them. I'm getting the limited edition, so I'll already have the maps anyways. Like, I'll have the code to download them because it's just part of the cost. So whenever they come out, I'll get them. Cool. But yeah, ultimately, these concept arts and descriptions aren't really too much to go by. I do find it really odd that they just pretty much laid it all out. Like, no Halo's done that before, where they're like, okay, these are all the maps we're going for. Here's the concept art for them. Here's the ideas behind them. And here's little short descriptions of what we're going for. That's never been done. Usually they just announce them as they come. Like, okay, we're going to be, releasing a DLC pack here in a few weeks to a month, and this is what the 3 maps, and they'll reveal them as they go. They've never just like, okay, here's everything we're gonna do. It's just, to me, I don't think I like it this way. So I mean, I prefer
Do you think that that's because a different studio made it?
Yeah, it's a different studio, and yeah, it could be they're just the way they want to go about things. If I had to take a guess, it might be due to Reach's poor DLC sales. So maybe they just want to kind of lay out all their cards and give people an idea of what they are to expect, so people can buy the map pass and they can kind of go from there. Or I don't know. I mean, to me, it's just weird. I would think, as a business, I would like to just kind of put out the first pack and then start, worrying about the second pack and go from there, like plan from there what we want to do based off of what we have so far, map wise, size wise, visual wise, and then just kind of keep going. But, whatever, if they have it all set out, they definitely put a lot of work into thinking about it. So that's cool. It's just kind of odd to do it this way.
Right.
But, it is what it is. And like I said, as long as they're good maps and play well and look cool, then I'm not going to complain. It's just kind of odd for them to do it like this. It's almost disappointing because now you don't have anything to like look forward to. Like, oh my gosh, I wonder what the, hopefully, the next map pack has like a remake in it, or from, my favorite map and this and that. And now it's just like, oh, here's everything we're going to get. Or at least, they could come out with a pack in the future for sure after all these come out, that they haven't announced. But I don't know. It's just, I'd be interested to see why exactly they did. I would, like I said, if I had to fathom a guess, it would be because of poor DLC sales and Reach. So maybe they just kind of want to get people excited and know how many people are going to go for them, or I don't know. Who knows? But hopefully they turn out well and play well. But yeah. I did think it was funny that they kind of announced all these DLC maps before they even revealed their last map. In the game on the disc. They had one more map still to reveal, and they announced these beforehand. I mean, now they just revealed that last map today, but this map pack thing was revealed by Major Nelson or whatever, whoever runs like the main spokesman behind Xbox Live or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Revealed them yesterday, so it's kind of funny how they did that. But oh well, I mean, that's all I really want to cover on the map front. Have you decided if you're going to get Halo 4?
No.
You haven't decided, or you're not going to get it?
I haven't decided.
Yeah, it looks good. But, yeah. That's all I really have to say about it. I mean, there hasn't been really too much more news on it that I really care to cover. Yeah, I mean, that's all I really have to talk about. Did you have anything else that you wanted to mention or say or talk about?
What about the Wii U? It's coming out soon. We got like 3 weeks.
Yep, 3 weeks away, and I'm excited to get to play the new Super Mario Bros. Wii U, but they have yet to, the Wii U I expect to be like the 3DS. It's going to take a while before they come out with the games that are really going to, make it worth it.
Right.
I mean, obviously new Super Mario Bros. Wii U will be fun. Zombie U looks good, and I'm sure they'll have some other like third-party games that the other consoles have that will obviously play well. But the Super Smash Brothers and Mario Kart and the new like Mario Galaxy type of game and the new Zelda and all that kind of stuff, it's still gonna be a while. So they haven't even given any release dates on that front. So
I really hope that Zombie U is good, because I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but I'm contemplating it. I have the Super Mario Bros. Wii U, but I do want to get Zombie U, especially if the reviews are good closer to launch.
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited for it. Like I said, I'm sure it'll be good, and it'll be worth it eventually no matter what anyways, just based on the fact that, like I said, all the good games that are guaranteed to come out on every, Nintendo console, they always have 5 or 6 ones, of each franchise that you care about. So, yeah, should be good. And
it'd be really cool if they have whatever online they're going to have actually work that night, so we could play Super Mario Bros. Wii U.
Yeah. Yes, that would be cool if they have that. Is it even online? I forgot.
I don't know. I think it is. I'm
Because
pretty sure it is.
I haven't done a whole lot of research on that game. I mean,
Because when I was talking to the guy at GameStop, he made it seem like it was online.
the game or the Wii U?
The game.
Okay, yeah. Because I know the Wii U has the capabilities, even though they haven't even talked about them. I think the whole reason why they've been so
Probably
quiet.
scared because they don't know.
Well, they've been so quiet probably because they know it probably sucks, and I'm gonna be really mad because the Wii's was just awful. I mean, if there's one thing Nintendo, like, I don't care if the Wii, I didn't care that the GameCube couldn't play DVDs. I didn't care that the Wii, didn't have all the features that the other consoles had in that regard, but the online capabilities need to be, to par of today's current gaming, at least to the PlayStation standards, for God's sakes. And I don't even think that highly of the PlayStation Network, but at least it's something, The Wii U or the, Nintendo online stuff just isn't really there. It doesn't feel like they put much stock into it, which, I prefer to be on the couch next to everybody and playing it in person, but sometimes it's just not available. And sometimes you want to play Mario Kart with friends or play, Super Mario Bros. Wii U or Super Smash Brothers when it comes out and all that stuff. And unless you have a great, online or at least decent one that has good servers and good connections and you can find friends easily, then it's just annoying. But yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
It's gonna be sweet.
Yep, for sure. And we'll definitely be talking a lot more into that a little bit closer. Yeah. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for today's podcast. So you can find the rest of our stuff. Obviously, you're looking at this on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't already. You can find us on facebook.com/Goombastomp. And yeah, come subscribe to our stuff if you haven't. And check out the Halo map retrospective we got going on. I'm doing it with Tyler on here and a couple other people of our friends, and it's a lot of fun. Even if if you're not like that diehard of a Halo fan, at least check it out or tell your friends that are. But yeah, definitely pretty cool, and can't wait for Halo and the Wii U. November is going to be a big month. All right, well, you guys take it easy, as Tyler Swanson would say. Speaking of which, he should be back next week for all you 1 or 2 Swanson fans out there. I hope everybody has a happy Halloween. Just make sure you're not taking part in any of that recreational drugs or any of that sexual intercourse. And just remember, the boogeyman is out there and he's coming to get you. Oh yeah, one last thing. Whatever you do, don't fall asleep. Adios.
Later.